Hi, welcome back to Reading with Manny. I'm Manny, and today I'm doing the mid-year freakout tag. That's what it's called, right? Anyway, you'll see it in the title. I will leave the original tag creator, if I can find it, down in the description below, as well as the questions in case you want to participate. Everyone is doing this tag, so yeah. So, I have read 37 books so far. Today is the 29th of June. I left it towards the end of June just to make sure. But yes, I've read quite a lot more than I was expecting by this point in the year. My original goal was 50. I think I'm gonna pass that quite soon. So anyway, is the lighting fine? Don't think it is. That's a bit better. Anyway, let's get started because this is gonna take a while. There's many questions to go through. I'll be looking to my laptop to see the questions. You know how it is. Number 1, best book you've read so far this year. This is impossible. This is literally impossible for me to do because I have excellent reading taste. No, I'm kidding. I'm just very good at choosing what books I'm gonna like. So yeah, I give 5 stars pretty liberally. So yes, let's just do some, not random, but some really strong contenders for my favorite books of the year. What I tend to do is just give it an extra 6th star to those ones that really stayed with me or touched me deeply in my soul in some way. First up, this should come as no surprise to anyone who has been watching my channel for a while, and that is To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. I read this back in February. This is massive and I loved every single second of it. You can watch my vlog about it. I'll link it up above. Never remember which side it is. Doesn't matter. This is fantastic. This is a genius work of art. I can't. We follow 3 different timelines, past, contemporary, future. It explores so many excellent themes. I'm still not coherent about this book. That vlog was very, very much the same as I am. Yeah, no, it's the same. Go read this book. Other contenders, actually, that kind of fit in the same, I don't know, maybe I like those type of books. We have A Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I'll put it somewhere, I don't know which side, maybe this side. I always do it on this side. Anyway, that one also has multiple timelines, one of them in the past, one of them contemporary, and then future ones. Yeah, I seem to like that. Also, Cloud Cuckoo Land. That book, I really enjoyed that book. I would also count it as one of my favorites of the year, and that also has past, contemporary, future timelines. I need more books like that. If you have any recommendations for books that follow that pattern, hit me up. Anyway, another great contender for that one, for favorite book, is The 13th Tale. Again, you can watch my vlog about this book. This is the book that was made for me and I love it. And yeah, it's a story about stories and the stories we tell ourselves. And so many more things. And if I spend too much time going over what each of these books is about, this will be a very long video. So you can always check the description down below for more information about these books. Let's just move on. Question number 2. That is the best sequel you've read so far this year. I haven't read many series this year, but 2 that come to mind is the second one and the third one, because you can count sequel as the third part. All the series about Cicero's life by Robert Harris. I'll put pictures up here. Lustrum in particular, the second one, was a very strong sequel, I would say, because we follow Cicero's life from his highest point downwards. And then the third one, well, it's just the end of his life, and that one is also quite a ride, so that's a good contender. I also really enjoyed the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I don't have it here because I gave it to my best friend to read. In this book, we follow Monty on his Europe trip back in the 18th century. Yes, 18th century. He goes on his Europe trip, adventures, hijinks ensue. In the second one, which is called The Lady's Guide to Piracy and Petticoats, we follow his sister, Felicity, who I absolutely fell in love with in the first one, and in the second one, yeah, her book is amazing. So yes, very fun reads, excellent sequel. Can't wait to read the third one. Next question. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I think I mentioned this in the quarter year crisis tag, and that is The Leviathan by Rosie Andrews, and I finally got my hands on it. So I will be probably reading it if I can squeeze it in July. I already filmed, I already have my TBR decided, but I've been very excited about this book. It's set in the English Civil War. There's a speculative element with the Leviathan, something. I don't even know. All I know is that I want to read it. So yes, it's gonna happen very soon, hopefully. Next is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I would have to say that is another sequel, actually. That is a sequel to A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsky. The second one is called A Restless Truth. It actually follows kind of like the same pattern as this one, whereas we are following the male sibling in the first book and his adventures, and then in the second one we're following the sister. In this one though, we have Victorian London and magic, and yes, I loved that book. You will hear me talking about it later again because it will come up again, so yes. Another probably another contender for favorite book of the year, but yes. Very much looking forward to A Restless Truth. It comes out in November, so still have a long way to wait, but yeah. Moving on, biggest disappointment, I have already talked about this book many times, is Gallant by V. Schwab, but it's me because I thought it was going to be more adult and it was very young adult. So yes, it was just a matter of audience. It's not a bad book, it's just not for me. That's my biggest disappointment. Next we have biggest surprise. I have to say my biggest surprise this year so far has been Mischief Acts by Zoe Gilbert. This book is a myth exploration. It's a retelling / exploration of the myth of Herne or Hearn. Can't remember how you pronounce that. It's an English myth that I had never heard about, so that in itself was kind of surprising. But the interesting thing about the book is that the format of it is just so different from anything I have ever read. Like, it starts with a chant, and then each iteration of the myth is told in a different way, like different genres, different perspectives, different, yes, everything. And then it goes into the future and you're like, oh my god, this is what the myth would be like in the future. It was just so surprising. You really should read it. Very unique book. Next, favorite new author, debut or new to you? If it's new to me, it has to be Diane Satterfield. I read both of these books this year, 13th Tale and Once Upon a River. Loved both of them. Her style is just mesmerizing. Yes, it feels like she writes books for me, so definitely. If I had to go for debut, I think I would have to go with Liz Hyder, who wrote The Gifts, which I read last month, and I absolutely loved it. That's also historical fiction / magical realism, which is one of my favorite mixed genres. So yes, her book was just beautiful. Probably another contender for favorite, if I have to be honest. Okay, next, we have newest fictional crush. I would have to go with Edwin from A Marvelous Light. He is a book nerd. He's also very insecure because of his family, because they bullied him, they were the worst. But his character growth throughout the story, he's just so precious. I want to protect him. Next is newest favorite character. I haven't finished this book yet, but I know it's going to be Valerie from The Half-Life of Valerie Kay by Natasha Pulley. It's her newest book. If you don't know, Natasha Pulley is like my all-time favorite author, and I'm 30% of the way through The Half-Life of Valerie Kay, and I fell in love with Valerie like the first few pages. Yeah, I can already tell. Not only because, like I said, it was a very strong start, and his character has already been like, he's so precious. But also I have full faith in Natasha Pulley's ability to create amazing characters that I just love. Last year, if you had asked me this question, it would have been Kite from The Kingdoms. And I just finished rereading The Lost Future of Pepper Harrow, which is the sequel to The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, and Thaniel and Maury are still my favorite characters of all time. And yes, so Natasha Pulley has my soul. That's what I'm saying. Go read anything by Natasha Pulley if you want to have wonderful, wonderful characters. I could cry. Moving on, a book that made you cry. There are too many to name. I cry with most books. I definitely cried with To Paradise. In fact, you can see me crying in the vlog if you go watch it. Yes, this had me sobbing by the end. I also cried a lot with Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, but you're kind of supposed to, given the subject matter. I also cried with How We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. I also cried with Kukuland a lot. I cry a lot. Let's just move on before I name practically every book in this list. Next, a book that made you happy. I would have to say Sea of Tranquility by Emil St. John Mandel made me really happy because it gave me everything that I wanted, that I was expecting. It was just a short, compelling read that made me really happy. I don't know, the whole experience of reading it during my road trip and everything, you can also watch that vlog. That was great. This series makes me really happy too because it's funny. It's historical fiction and the characters are hilarious and the situations that they're in, everything is just great. I love these. My reread of Watchmaker and Pepper Harrow also made me really happy. So yes. Oops. Sorry if I moved the camera just now. I banged my tripod with the book. Anyway, next, favorite book to film adaptation you've seen this year. I haven't seen any yet, I think. I've been very bad at watching TV or movies lately, unless they're Marvel related or Star Wars related. Do those count? But I am excited to watch the new Persuasion adaptation that's coming out now in July. In fact, I'm planning to watch it as part of Jane Austen July, which is a readathon co-hosted by Katie from Books and Things and other booktubers whose names I can't remember, but I will link them down below. One of the prompts is to watch a Jane Austen adaptation, I think, and yes, Persuasion seems a really good choice because Persuasion is one of my favorite Jane Austen novels, so yes, excited for that one. Next is favorite video you've done so far this year. I would have to say my first TBR game video where I go over the game and the rules, probably because it was a lot of fun to create all the friends references and figure out how the board was going to be. So yes, that was a very fun video to make, and yeah, I'm enjoying playing it every month. Next, most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year. Again, I would have to say To Paradise. Look at it. I just love this cover. I love the matte sleeve and the gold embossing here, and then you open it and it has maps like on both sides, and I love maps. You can see that, can you? There. I haven't been buying many books lately, so yes, I would have to say this one. And the last question is the books you need to read by the end of the year. I don't have like a set TBR or one of those 22 in 2022 lists kind of thing. It's just the books that I'm excited about for the rest of the year, I guess. I just finished Dawn by Octavia E. Butler, so I do want to continue the series. I probably will very shortly. I didn't manage to fit the sequel, Adulthood Rights. Yes, I didn't manage to fit it in my TBR game, but I might end up reading a lot more in July than planned because I have holidays, so who knows. And they are short books too. I am trying to do like a whole reread of my old favorite science fiction books. I read one of them so far, so I might try to squeeze some of those in as well. Some Ray Bradbury, some Isaac Asimov that I have, and some other sci-fi classics that I used to love when I was a teenager, and I want to see if I still love them now. I'm filming a vlog about it, but I've only done one book, so yes, maybe I can get on that for the rest of the year. Anyway, I think that's it. Those were the 15 questions. I hope I didn't skip any of them. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these books or what are your plans for the next half of the year. Leave a like if you enjoy the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, happy reading!